Welcome to Season 3 of the Knack 4 Business Podcast. Over 300 episodes strong, we're here to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit with fresh insights, networking gems, and creative strategies that elevate your game. Are you ready to discover what your Knack 4 business truly is? Your hosts are Bernie Fransgrote from Creative Insight and Wayne Pratt from Motivate You, Inc.
Today's topic is smart automation, healthy integrity, ad-free, empowered businesses. How can you grow your business and build long-term client relationships without spending money on advertising? Our guest today is Bill Davey from IMAX Digital. Bill is a seasoned entrepreneur and seventh-generation salesman from Cookson, Oklahoma. Bill brings over 30 years of experience and an unparalleled passion for empowering small businesses. Having founded and operated more than 20 companies, including GlobalLink Security and IMAX Digital, Bill has successfully sold over 25,000 security projects while maintaining a reputation for integrity and innovation. A graduate of University of Central Oklahoma with a degree in finance, Bill is an expert in business automation, digital marketing, CRM solutions, and scaling businesses to multi-million-dollar exits. Through his latest initiative, IMAX Digital, he is providing 25,000 free websites to small businesses and offering a groundbreaking $29 standalone CRM. Bill is also the author, educator, and faith-driven leader who explores Christian values in entrepreneurship through his current project, Integrity in Business. A proud member of the Entrepreneurs Organization and author of Big Hat, No Cattle, Bill is dedicated to mentoring others, sharing his entrepreneurial insights, and helping businesses grow with purpose. Bill, welcome. Glad to have you here. And what's your favorite quote or saying, sir?
My favorite quote, you just help enough people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. Very simple thing from Zig Ziglar. I call it hope. Help one person every day is how I took that, but that's something I learned 30 years ago in business. And it worked 30 years ago, and it works now.
And your tagline for IMAX Digital?
We empower businesses with affordable tools and growth for their success. We want to teach people how to automate. I work with a lot of solopreneurs, and we really need to teach them how to automate their businesses so they can grow.
It's fantastic. It's like having many hands makes light work. You've built and sold like 20 companies. That's a lot of activity going on. What inspired you to get into this and go, I like this, we'll do this for a while, let's move this off and carry on into a new area?
What a great question. I've had my main company, GSS, for 30 years and 2 weeks, by the way. We started first week of January in 1995. But as you go through the journey, sometimes shiny objects come up. Sometimes they were good. Sometimes they were winners. Sometimes they were not. I don't want you to think that I have exited 20 companies, but I've failed in a lot of those companies. We have had some good winners, but you just got to fail forward, right? Sometimes the decision at the time is really good. And then it turns into a nightmare, and that's learn to pivot and move on to the next deal.
You ever recoup any of that? You have a learning cycle, but is it total loss, or is it just not gone as planned and then it morphs into something else?
How about being an investor? You invest in a business and things go south. Now you're in this business that you don't really know a lot about. You're trying to fix the problems that you invested in. That takes away from your other horses that are really doing well. It's tough just to make an investment and let it ride. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not.
Seventh generation. That is a really long story. Where did your family start out in sales and doing what?
Horse trading in Ireland.
That's good. I like horse trading by itself in Ireland.
Yeah, that's right. And as people migrated over here, I think it was my Aunt Annie, who was a horse trader. The entire family is in sales. We are a sales-driven family from grandparents to you know, we've been doing this for a long time. Sales is everything. Sales is such a blessing. And it's how we build our businesses. It's just that relationship and working with people.
Bill, you have a CRM.
Yes,
and
sir.
I understand it's hundreds of dollars and hours of training to maximize.
No. Our CRM is very easy to work.
And it's $29.
We do have a standalone package at $29. That is correct. We want to make things affordable. If you look at your journey, especially being an entrepreneur, when I go back 30 years ago, didn't have a lot of mentors, didn't have a lot of people that were helping me. So the more we can give back to the community, and we still want to grow as a business, but we really want to put forth the help. If we can help enough people, Now you can go somewhere else and spend hundreds or thousands, or we can give you twice the service at half the price.
More than half the price.
They would be proud. I can vividly hear him talking to me now. It's really cool.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fantastic. So you had 25,000 projects and you
Yes.
didn't spend a dime on advertising. How does that come around, like sale? But how do you scale up to 25,000 of them?
So you guys have all heard of ADT, right? You've heard of this company. I'm sure you've got, okay. So that was the model. And this all started when it wasn't ADT, but it was another company. They said, for every security contract you sell, we give the alarm system away. 36-month monitoring agreement. I had a guy come to me, he goes, I'll give you 36 to 48 times that monthly revenue. So when you sell a project and it's $50 a month, I'll give you $1,800. Does that make sense? And I'm like, why is this guy going to give me $1,800 on this 36-month plan? This makes no sense to me. I could sell hundreds of these a month and make a lot of money. But when you start to grow from a balance sheet as opposed to a P&L, these accounts were worth something because we have a buyer willing to buy them. So we said, let's just invest in ourselves. As we go through this journey, you're going to be broke for a long time because when you put a couple hundred systems out each month on the marketplace at $500 or $600 a pop, you can run the math, right? So referral, good products, good digital. There's a variety of things on how we did that. But we did not spend any money on advertising. We didn't have to.
Do you handle the monitoring or is that handled by the company?
We take care of the monitoring as well. We do everything turnkey.
I have a background in security work and the monitoring station is super critical, right?
Yeah. Very critical.
So what strategy did you wrap around when you were building the relationships between you and your clients in this business or in other businesses out of the other 19 companies?
Referral, and more referral. Who do you know? We would do a thing called a clover leaf and we would give fire extinguishers to all the neighbors. And we just drop off a little $2 fire extinguisher, put our card on it. They call and everybody wants to do what their friends are doing. Then we look into insurance agents, realtors. Who can we leverage? We give them a good deal. We would prefer to do affiliate pay after the deal is done. Does that make sense? So instead of saying, I'm going to spend 10 grand this month on advertising, I'd rather give 10,000 on the back end for referrals that are coming in. So we have a very good affiliate type program. That's how we did the majority of it. But digital has also been a big play. Google Business has been the number one thing we've done that has just killed it for our business. It's free.
When you structure the affiliation, well, what type of percentage do you normally work with? How do you shape it so it appeals to the person doing the word of mouth connection?
Depends on the volume. At IMAX, we do 15 to 20%. GSS, we do somewhere between $50 and $200 a transaction. So a little bit different model, but we pay up front on the security side. And IMAX, we do subscription forever.
You sell automation. There's
Sure.
a lot of noise out there about what business automation is. Can you tell me what it means to you?
Automating is, I'll give you a very good example, Wayne, a birthday card, an automation. Let's nurture business, nurture people, conversations. If I can send you a birthday card every year, you're going to say thank you. And I'm going to say, Wayne, how are you doing? So when we look at the metrics of following up, I call it the FU money follow up, right? Like, how do we follow up with people? Like, I have a lot of insurance agents, P&C agents that work with me, and they don't win every deal. Let's say they close 30% of the business that comes in, they go with somebody else, but they can build these automations out to where an e-blast every month or quarter, they do birthday greeting, husband and wife, and they trigger that automation 30 days before the renewal because they have all this client's information. Safe to say, 30 days before that renewal of people they talked to 5 years ago, 4 years ago, last year, boom, they hit a button. I got an agent picking up 10,000 every month just because of that automation piece. And it's personal. You got to make this, you can't have it to where it's a bot. You make it personal. It works. Fortunes in your follow-up. Imagine talking to someone 3 years ago and you get a present today. Oh, that's the guy I talked to Wayne 3 years ago and I just made $2,500 on this policy. It's that easy. And you don't have to do a darn thing. That to me is automation at its finest.
What mistakes do people make when they're looking at their automation? Do they leave money on the table, so to speak? Are they not doing certain things or what are the common mistakes?
The biggest I see, Bernie, they have to log in. They're too busy being busy. They don't want to
Yep.
take the time to learn. So I guess the best way I can tell someone how to use automation, let's say we all decide to hire a new person today. We're going to hire new talent and we're going to put this talent in the seat. Do you think that person's just going to figure out everything on their own? We got to train them. That makes sense?
Yep.
We got to train these people. So it's the same thing with automation. And I think when you build a company or you build a city, you got to start small. You can't do everything at one time, right? So you start with one thing. Start with an SMS campaign. Communicate with an SMS and then get into an email campaign. It's what I really specialize in. How do we become top of mind for our clients, people we meet at networking events? How do you stay top of mind?
Makes perfectly good sense. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
That's right. I changed that a little bit because I never understood that. I said, how do you feed an elephant? And that's one peanut at a time. That's what I had to change a little bit.
Bill, your faith is very important to you. Tell me what being a faith-driven leader means to you.
Wow, this is a great question because my next book, I'm an author of Big Hat No Cattle, which was my first book. My second book is coming out. Wait, it was a leadership book. My publishing house kept asking me these thought-provoking questions. The question was, where does all this stuff come from? All this thought leadership. It was a thought-provoking question that took me about 2 weeks to figure out. So we started investigating the Bible, and that's where most of these leadership principles come from. And that's how this second book is coming around.
Helping people get what they want. How do you know what they want? How do you figure that out? And sometimes what you want and what you need, not necessarily on the same channel.
Listen, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I have to listen. Sometimes you got to tell people that their baby's ugly, and that's okay. I would rather be truthful. Life is just a roadmap in a puzzle, and we're all on different mile markers, if that makes sense. Wayne, you may be experienced. You're a mile marker 300, and I might be at 265, and Bernie might be at 200 coming behind us. To learn from those experiences and what roadmap, that's how we want to help people. Sometimes you got to have a tough conversation, and I'm okay with it. Some people don't like it. People are emotional. You have to be tactful. That's how we handle that.
25,000 free websites.
Correct.
Busted down yet, or?
It's busy. It's productive. A lot of people on the team.
So what type of folks are coming to you for websites? Like what type of business?
I focus on a lot of home service, nonprofit. It's a mixed bag. Everything from shipping to HR. We have coaches. We have, you name it. We're building out a gym, another gym website today. It's a mix. I wish I could say it was one, and I should probably say that my riches need to be in the niches, but it's blossomed to so many different areas. It's a mixed bag. But I do love working with nonprofits. Those are people that give a lot of gratitude.
Do you have a community, like a networking community based on, because you're aggregating a lot of people together, right?
Yes.
Do you also wrap in here's a website that will get you spun up so you get stuff out there. People know who you are. If they ask for more services, then it becomes fee driven.
We have some verticals, absolutely.
You also build a community around it, like networking groups around it?
I'm in a lot of networking groups, but I have not built a Facebook group type of deal, like a community base. No, we have not built that yet. We've discussed it, but not yet.
One thing that I've been around the internet now a long time, probably more than 15 years. And it was always graphic designer driven, and it was
Yeah.
about art. And now I find I'm talking to people who their website is a byproduct of their CRM. And
That could be the case. True.
And it seems to be a totally different mindset. And I love your thoughts on that.
I love this question. You can jump into a $29 CRM that we offer, and you can do a very basic website. Yes. So if you are, I meet people that struggle, we want to help them. Yes, there's that opportunity. However, if we really want to win, let's say, wait, we're going to have a car race, my car versus your car. You just bought the new Ferrari. You have a really nice car. It's very pretty, has a very big engine in it. And I'm going to come in with a GMC pickup. Still a nice car, but who's going to win the race? obviously the biggest engine. So when we build these free websites, we do a 15-page build out. The client just gives us the content. We build it. We have tons of templates they can look at. An ADA badge. There's a lot of lawsuits going on right now. They're coming after you. If you don't have an ADA, if someone has a seizure, they're deaf, they're blind, we cover that. We cover all the security at SSL. That is a piece of the puzzle that GoDaddy will charge you $20 a month for this SSL. It's wrapped up in our free deal. In a high-speed server. This server with AWS, the fastest thing I could find. It's the Ferrari of engines and mobile, desktop. We want to be quick. Can the CRM give you that speed? No, not bad, but it can't give you that. We give you an hour a month of changes, your blogs, anything else you want to do moving forward. We're going to help you with that. We want you to go sell, focus on other things, and we'll build all that stuff for you. It's $49 a month to do everything I just mentioned. If you called GoDaddy for those servers and SSL, you'd spend probably $140 a month.
So just for the benefit of the audience, what is SSL in AWS?
Amazon Web Server. You've heard of Amazon. They have massive cloud and very fast technology. And ADA is the American Disability Act. If you go to a restaurant, a ramp, they can get a wheelchair through, you're going to get fined and you're going to get sued, just like your website. If your website does not have the ADA badge, you run the potential of a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 settlement that your insurance is not going to cover. And we can help avert that.
We've had other guests on talking about being compliant with ADA.
Yes.
And SSL, what does SSL stand for?
High security. That's your security socket. We definitely want the security.
There's a lot of hidden niches in the build out of platforms other than I need a website. So that's really good.
I will tell you, you can go to IMAXdigital.com, look at free websites. We build beautiful stuff. They're handmade. We put a lot of time, a lot of care, and it's good stuff.
Wow.
How did you scale up without ripping your hair out?
And I'm 53. That's a great question, Wayne. A good team of people. We're patient, empathetic. We listen. But I will tell you this, Wayne, there are people we will not work with anymore. We just won't do it. I don't need that hassle and that drama. We do good work. We help people. And sometimes you give people enough rope, they're going to hang themselves. So we're very cautious, and it's okay to fire somebody. It's okay. I'm okay with that because we're not for everybody.
So the team that you have amassed around you, are you just doing continental US, North America, global? What's your reach when you're doing this setup?
Big team in South Africa, big team in London, a big team in Mexico, and a big team here in Oklahoma and the States.
Global. It's pretty incredible.
That sounds like a big word, global, but doesn't feel like it. But yeah, I guess we are.
You're going from South Africa to UK. You're spanning time zones.
That's right. We're a purpose-driven company, and we believe in our people. And they all feel like family. They feel like they're sitting next to me on a day-to-day basis. It's pretty cool.
So when someone comes in and you have your team supporting you, your team not only does the setup for the website, et cetera, do they also do the artwork? Do they also do, let's say the person has a certain color scheme, the branding, do you do those elements too? Or is that something you should have ahead of time?
We have a brief form. So I ask people a couple questions. Do you have a website you love? Yeah, I love this website. Okay. Not that we're going to copy it, but we can take those fundamentals and custom it. Or I can give you 100 templates and you can look at all of our templates that we've done and you can say, I love that. And we can go from there. We're trying to simplify that process and go through the form and then we go to work.
There's another element I've seen that's cropped up, and actually two elements. Aside from the ADA component, there's also the privacy component and then European Union privacy piece. And there's more stringent, right?
Yep.
Is that something you sort out, or is that why you have teams in the UK and South Africa? Because that's their field.
We're not transactional, we're relationship. We find the right person, start working, and we help them build their business. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just, and we've had the same people we've worked with for some people 30 years, literally. So just because they go up $1 doesn't mean I'm going to be a transactional moron and kick into the curb. That's okay. Business. So and like on the security side, like we'll send pizzas to all of our distributors. Why? They send us business. We're just different.
I got to remember, I like pizza.
And we live by this code called the NA rule, which stands for no assholes on both ways, not on our team and not that we want to take it on their side. So the NA rule is we discuss.
So who writes up your privacy policy for your clients? Is it custom or is it something they have to get legal counsel?
We do have some templates that we will help them with, but if they want us to start custom, then we get into a $25 an hour. We really want the clients to do that. I don't want to write a policy that goes bad and I'm not getting compensated for it. It's a bad policy, right? Like I look like the bad guy. So we build out the frame, we take the content, we take the photos, and boom, our team goes to work.
I love your book title,
Thank
Big
you.
Cat, No Cattle. You've got to unpack that for me.
You bet. In the early days of security and integration, I worked in banks all through high school and college. I was a banker, but got into the security business. We would work on these $1 million homes. I would find it very interesting that these $1 million homes were struggling to pay us. If you remember the book by Thomas Stanley, The Millionaire Next Door, he was Big Hat, No Cattle. He would warn you about people like that. So within our security division, we have a background search company and we can research people. I can get down to what they make, what they have. It's really a fascinating background search. So we would start researching these people that were paying us. And there was so much debt in their world that it was like being an addict. They could not pay their bills, but wanted to have all these nice things. Being in the banking realm, I have ownership in 2 different banks. We started researching and I wanted to see files of people and research deck of millionaires and people that were upside down. It was just fascinating to meet a deck of millionaire, a 3,000-foot house with a F-150 and a Toyota Camry. I love that. Just simple people that do amazing things. And that's why, like the Entrepreneurs Organization works to run a lot of successful blue-collar people. No one's wanting to tell you how great they are. And that's where the book came from. Just the millionaire mindset. The real millionaires in the world are not what you think.
You've already grown the IMAX component. How did you scale that? Like, how did you know, okay, I'm at a certain level of transactions happening per day, customers coming through the door and going, I got to do something different now. How did you structure that? Was it mentoring that you got? Did someone just say, listen, you reach this level, you're going to have so many more assets to support your workflow?
So the question is, how do we scale it?
How did you do it? But also, what triggered you to understanding going at a certain point in time, we get 20 calls a day, trying to focus on something, you're going to need a VA or you're going to need an admin to gatekeep that. What were your triggers to go, yeah, time to ramp up and get more resources in?
We have team meetings on Monday and Thursday. The whole team meets. It's more like a family. How do we help and how do we get back, and the gratitude piece? I tell the team, there's going to be days that are going to be hard. We do KPI, we measure everything in our business. The last person we just brought on was, we needed someone to really train CRM people. And that's because one of the other girls is, I'm pulling my hair out. I can't work any harder. Okay. That's when we trigger, when is the next step? So I really push it on the team. When do we need another designer? When do we need another CRM? Does that make sense? I put it to them to navigate with me. And I'm very clear with them that it's okay to struggle. We're going to hit the ceiling. That's a good thing. I tell them, your most frustrated days are the best because we're growing. So remember that. People flip out. They have frustrated days and they want to walk. But that's healthy. Frustrating days are healthy.
Gives you a sense of where the edges are, right?
Yes, that's right.
If you're going to give advice to other entrepreneurs, what are the key elements that they should understand about the business, about how they conduct themselves?
One of the things I learned a long time ago, Bernie, is I don't give advice, but I'll give experience share. There's a reason for that. Experience, you can't get upset with me, right? Because this is what I did. If I give you advice and I don't have any experience, it could get someone really upset. The big thing that I focus on, and the thing that I've learned throughout the years, is SOP, your operating procedures. Write them down, tactful, build them into your automation. How everything you do should have. It's like I'm training 35 entrepreneurs tomorrow. And one of the things we're going to talk about is, what's the difference between a Big Mac and an F-15 fighter? Think about this for a second. So the Big Mac and an F-15 fighter jet, okay? When you go to McDonald's, guess what? They don't sit there and go, oh, now what do we do? They have a system, right? When they build a fighter jet, there is a system that's in play. Same thing. That's what you want to do in your business.
Makes perfectly good sense. Do you also handle e-commerce as part of the transactions? A lot of people with CRM website, a reminder, give a tickle reminder so the person stays connected. But you also start doing e-commerce, sell widgets, and off to the races. How big of a business do you go to? Will Amazon ever come knocking on your door?
Nah, doubt it. They're pretty big. I don't think we're too small for them, but we have some platforms. So we do 100 products, 2,500 or unlimited products. And for me to build you an e-com site with unlimited products is about $295 a month. 100 products or 2,500 products, I believe, is like in the 195 range. So yeah, we can help. Absolutely. I think we were doing some of the Texas lottery stuff, some pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, we can definitely help on that.
Right now, your fingers are on the dials. You're on the keyboard. Do you have a plan to exit stage left or semi-retire or dedicate some people to looking after the bigger picture so you can go to France or whatever?
Yeah, being a doer is tough. Delegator or doer, I'm a little bit of both. I still have a daughter that's in 7th grade, so I still have some time. I'm 53. I enjoy what I do, and I have exited companies. And what really stinks about exiting companies is you lose all the people that surround you. So for me to exit my business right now, I would lose a lot of good friends, a lot of good family members. So not now. Maybe as my daughter starts thinking about college, maybe that's time when I become an empty nester. Maybe it's that point in time. But here's the thing. I do what I love, Wayne. I'm mountain biking. I fish. I golf. I'm doing what I love to do. It's not bothering me. So at what point I may do this forever because I enjoy it.
Reflecting back, was there anything you do differently over the last couple decades?
I've been an EO now for Entrepreneurs Organization for 13 years. I probably would have joined that sooner. Be around more like-minded people to help me navigate my business. I would have chosen who I was hanging around with more. I would have been more skilled at that, be around more. I don't know if I want to use the word successful people, but I want to learn from others. And I want to learn to the people that are mile markers ahead of me. So I make a lot of mistakes. They still make a lot of mistakes. That's how we do it.
So where do you see the future of IMAX Digital going in the next 5, or even that whole industry?
I think it's going to be doing exactly what it's doing. If you look back at the Google algorithms, content is still a thing. Reviews are still a thing. I don't think these are going to go away. So content is still key. I don't think websites are going to be a thing of the past. I think it's only getting bigger. If you look at the stats, I think people have a need for email campaigns. That's what we do within our CRM. I need to train people how to do that. Top of mind. I can give you horror stories where people have lost tons of money by not following up. I think we still need chatbots. I think we still need funnels. I still think we need calendars. I think we need automation. So I think when we purchased this company 4 years ago, it continues to grow. And I think it's going to get bigger. Will AI take over? I don't think so. We have a lot of AI in our platforms. Like our websites are dynamic. We can have AI change stuff automatically for you. So we're already doing what I think the future is looking at. So I think it's explosive. I think it's going to keep going. I think we're going to keep growing. I don't think digital's going away. If we think about what your kids and what your family and grandkids and everybody is doing right now, I bet they're probably looking at this thing, right? If I could be on the backside helping that journey, that's pretty cool.
Do you feel that other technology, like virtual reality or artificial reality, will also blend into this space?
Potentially. Nothing's out of the realm right now.
There is so much. You talked about driver and you talked about doer. You also talked about faith. How does one organize the alone time with the powers that be when you have 17 emails to send out?
Morning routine, Wayne. So I start early. I got to be about 4 hours ahead of everybody else, if that makes sense. But when you look at your daily routine, and most Fortune 500 CEOs do this, most multimillionaires do this, you come up with your plan in the morning. So take care of yourself, meditate, breathe, exercise, walk, do your reading, journaling, gratitude. If you can have that done by 6 o'clock in the morning, the day is in front of you. Has to be early.
That is an early day.
Once I get to start serving, when I start serving people, like I've already had calls at 8, had another call at 9. I got to be on my game. All that's got to be behind me, because when 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock rolls around, I have no energy. It's done. It's just like your phone battery. You got all that battery in the morning and it just depletes. If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else. That's a fact. Learned that my biggest decisions have come from meditation. Breathing has been wonderful. I'm on the golf course making a big putt for maybe a couple dollars. When I've learned in breathing techniques, I don't really have any stress anymore. It's really amazing.
We've heard people talk about the breathing, just getting the oxygen inside your body, just kind of puts you down to a calm level. And if you're calm, that means you make good choices.
If I got a 6-foot putt that's worth $20, which is a big deal, I have no stress on that putt anymore. Usually I'd get all tense and through the nose, breathe out the mouth, make it, done, no stress. And if you smile, by the way, when you hit golf shots, you will hit a better shot.
I remember that next time. Smile at the thing as it leaves. Usually I hook into the bush.
Keep smiling. Golf is about life, ups and downs, man. Even when you're having a bad day, the last 2 or 3 holes, you have a successful round, and that's what makes it worthwhile, just like life.
Totally. Bill, if folks want to get a hold of you and find you and tap into the IMAX Digital resources, what's the path? How does that work?
www.imaxdigital.com. My email is bill@imaxdigital.com. You can reach me there. I've got a team of people that look at my emails, and I'm on my emails all the time. We have a team to get you connected. I'd be more than happy to meet with you one-on-one like we're doing right now. I do about 8 Zoom calls a day with different people around the world, and love to meet with your listeners.
I say thank you to Bill Davey, my co-host Wayne Pratt, and you're the Knack for Business listeners. If you need a website, you need to understand how to do that relationship with people and build that out and not have to worry about paying ad time, reach out to Bill.
To reach the podcast hosts, email them at info@creativeinsight.com or by the website creativeinsight.com, spelled KREATIVINSIGH.com. To reach Wayne at his email, wayne@motive8u.ca, that is MOTIVE, the numeral 8 and the letter u.ca, or his website motive8u.ca. If you would like to be a guest on this podcast and share your knowledge, let us know. We would also appreciate your feedback on the content or format. Check the show notes for more details. For these podcasts, we like to acknowledge the support and thanks to the following people. Carl Richards from Podcast Solutions Made Simple, a renowned podcast expert. Fred Crouch, who is the Property Wizard podcaster, where Bernie is a co-host. Jovan Streaker from At Hive, a co-working space that is more than just a space. Then Melanie Weber, Bernie's invaluable business partner, and Wayne Pratt from Motive8U Inc., who serves as both a coach and co-host of these podcasts. Disclaimer, please note that the Knack for Business podcast episodes are meant solely for educational and general informational purposes. The information and opinions contained within are not intended to be professional advice on any subject matter. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the participants are their own personal beliefs and do not represent the views of the podcast hosts or any affiliated organizations. It is important to note that this podcast is not a replacement for consulting with certified experts in your area who possess knowledge of your unique situation. The hosts of the podcast, along with any participants or affiliated groups, do not take responsibility for any actions taken or not taken based on the information presented in this episode. It is highly recommended that individuals seek guidance from their own personal advisors in fields such as accounting, law, or other pertinent areas prior to undertaking any actions or making decisions that may impact their financial, legal, or other aspects of life.